Somebody say next level. I need you to say it with some passion, though. Say it with some passion. Next level. In order for you to take your game, your business, your life to the next level, you're going to have to go through some stuff, yes? Right? So here's the deal. I want you to, if you're open, right? I'm going to invite you to repeat after me, right? Put your left arm in the air if you are so able. Right? Now, I want you to repeat after me, but when you do, I want you to either match my energy or one-up my energy. Is that cool? Okay, I know you're ready to one-up my energy. Here we go. Life. No, I need to. Life goes like this. No, not like this. Some of y'all like that. Life goes like this. Yeah, there's ups and downs in life, right? There's times that you're out there and you're doing things and you're celebrating people. What's up, bro? And then there's other times where things happen and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry that you have to go through that. The reality is, if we recognize that life goes like this, then we, with our emotions, don't have to go like this. Because sometimes people get it twisted and get it confused. As life is doing what life does, people get it twisted and think that it's them. And they'll start saying, why do these things always happen? Well, how come I never? What is wrong with me? When the reality is there's nothing that's wrong with you. It's just life doing what life does. And if we're open to that, then we could also recognize that through life's ups and downs, we're able to share things that can equip, empower, and inspire other people. I feel like that's what's happening tonight. Folks that have been through some things that have taken the stage and have said, let me put my heart out here in ways that have allowed us as members of the audience to walk away with something that could transform how we show up for ourselves, people that we care about, or even strangers that we meet. It's the little things. The two things I always wanted to do in life is I always wanted to be a dad that was present and someone that serves in community. And partly because growing up, my dad wasn't always present. And, we came to Canada as immigrants. I was born in Jamaica. And we came here. My dad, my parents were young. My parents were teenagers when I came into this world. And one of the reasons why I'm here is because they couldn't get enough money for the abortion. Right? So my dad, when he came, he was working multiple jobs, working 3 jobs, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5:15 to 1 in the morning. That was Monday through Friday. On the weekends, he drove a taxi cab. My mom was working 40 hours a week and studying nursing full-time as a student. So in my formative years, elementary school, middle school, high school, I didn't see my parents much, right? Because my dad had how many jobs? Right. The other reason I didn't see him was because he suffered from an addiction. And there were things in terms of sacrifices that my parents made that I always said, like, well, if I'm ever blessed to be a parent, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that. And there's other things that I saw in my house that I said, please, God, don't let me do that. You feel me? So when I had opportunities because of my parents and others who sacrificed for me to be able to do different things. I started playing organized sport when I was in high school. Ended up getting a football scholarship to Northern Illinois University, home of the Huskies, right? Go ahead. I played hard, studied hard, graduated a couple times, bachelor's in marketing, master's in IT, started working as an IT consultant before getting a call from the Toronto Argonauts in the Canadian Football League who called me up and said, hey, are you still interested in playing football? I said, hold on, if I make the team, can I serve in community? They said, absolutely. I said, then I want to play the game. Because what was bigger than the game for me was an opportunity to connect with other human beings and help people realize what was possible. So I made the team, immediately got involved in service activities, and I'm going to fast forward. I met my bride at a school that I was volunteering at. She was finishing up teacher's college, and she's a hottie, too. And, we got married. We had a son. She was pregnant with our second, and I was excited, because I started dreaming about like what it would be like to be a dad. And anyone here ever do something really physical one day, the next day you're super sore when you wake up? Okay, so that super sore feeling was me after every morning after a football game. And I remember getting out of bed and hobbling, and my wife looking at me, and she said, "How much longer are you going to do this to your body?" And I thought about the brokenness passed from father to son in my lineage. And I looked at Dante, who was 18 months in the crib. And I said, when this young man is old enough to be sitting in the stands at a football game, point out onto the field and say, "That's my dad," then I'm good. So when I signed a contract extension and went out to celebrate that signing, I was excited. At this time, I was active. I was training police in racial sensitivity. I was working with sick kids, homeless youth, refugee families. So I signed the contract. I'm outside my car waiting for my teammates to come. I see two guys walking towards me. One guy says, "Hey, man, got any drugs?" I was on the phone at the time. I said, "Hold on one sec." "No." Now, what's up with these guys? I go back to my phone call. The two guys keep walking. One guy stops at the rear of my vehicle. The guy that stopped says, "Are you sure?" I looked at him. I was about to respond, but I remember that when I saw him, I saw how many guys? And now I'm only seeing one, so I'm thinking, man, where's the other? He's in my blind spot. Put the phone on speaker, put it on top of the car, took a step back so I could see them both at the same time. Guy on my right pulls out a gun, threatens to shoot me in the head. They grabbed me and they started to wrestle me down to the ground and started to beat me and beat me and beat me until the skin on my head split. And I remember being face on the pavement, thinking about all the things I dreamt about in terms of serving in community and being a dad. And all I could think was, "God, don't let me die like this." That assault ended my football career. But the bigger challenge was it happened at the hands of two corrupt undercover police officers who happened to work for the police service that I was their spokesperson. That I trained in racial sensitivity, that I worked with their officers to help bring police and community together. So because I worked with many amazing officers back then, and I still do to this day, I knew someone was going to stand up and say, "Hey, we made a mistake," until no one did. And I remember being in the courtroom and in an effort to cover up the assault, I was taken to jail. And because my face was so busted up and they had to come up with a reason why, they went back to the scene where my car was and planted drugs by my car. I was unable to pass my physical and lost my opportunity to play football and take care of my family that way. But the bigger challenge was I was now facing prison time. I'm standing in the courtroom, an officer comes in, he puts his hand on the Bible, takes an oath to tell the truth. Let's imagine that you're me and you're the judge. He looks at you, looks at the judge, he says, "Your Honor, he's 6'2", 235 pounds, and he's trained to hurt people. In my 17 years on this force, I've never been in such fear for my life or my partner's life." And he looks at you and he smiles. And when our eyes met, all I could think was the words of my grandmother when she used to say, "Hurt people when they don't know what to do with their pain, they hurt other people." And in that moment, I thought, what kind of pain must he have been through to allow him the capacity to do that to another human being? And in that moment, I did the same thing for him that a number of the folks who have graced this stage talked about. I started to pray for him to get the healing that he needed and for the truth to come out. I'll fast forward. We got 5 weeks before I was supposed to get the verdict, and the arresting officer in my case was himself arrested for trafficking cocaine. They found 17 kilos of cocaine at his house. He was arrested, charged, convicted, sentenced to go to prison for 5 years and 8 months. I was acquitted. When he was sentenced, people came and they said, "Yes, Orlando, let's celebrate for what he did to you. Man, they almost killed you. They stole your career. Let's celebrate." I said, "No, we're not celebrating that because the man going to prison is a father like I am. I'm not celebrating someone else's pain." Understand that as we journey through some of the most challenging things in life, we may not have control over the hand that we're dealt, but in order for us to get through, we need to be thinking about how we could use, this is my perspective, how is this going to bless somebody else? How is this going to allow me to be a better father? How is this going to help me serve in community? So we've used those things. I wrote a letter of forgiveness to the officers I was assaulted by. I don't have time to share that with you tonight, but I'll just share the reason why. As we think about the fact that life goes like this, it doesn't just go like this for you. It doesn't just go like this for me. is recognizing that I don't know. People are like, how could you forgive somebody that almost killed you, that stole your career? And I said, I don't know what was happening in their lives at the time that our lives intersected. I don't know, and I'm not here to judge. Well, I am here to judge tonight. But I said, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to serve. So how is this situation going to help us serve and give back and make a difference and make the world a better place? Because even as I have to think about what's next and how I persevere through this, perhaps this incident in the officers' lives could also be a transformative moment where they find a reason to see somebody else's humanity. Ubuntu is a word rooted in the Zulu language. It means I am because we are. There's a shared humanity that connects us. And if we're willing to look at life through the lens of this shared humanity, so much is possible and so much that we're dealing with out there in terms of a vibe that there's an us and a them, which when we draw a line and we say this is us and we draw a line and we say that's them over there, we all lose. There's no us and them, family. There's only us. So I want you to think about what you could take from the conversations that have been had from the stage today, the lessons that you've learned from the stage, and use it to show up in a way that is of service to others and allows you to know that your journey is, and the challenges that you go through are not just for you. We've had folks bearing their souls up here and allowing others of us to walk out of here with a little bit more inspiration, a little bit more connection, a little bit more understanding that we're not alone. When I say next level, I want you to say I'm in. Next level? I'm in. Next level. In order for you to go to the next level and navigate the storms of life, we have to be keeping in mind what is possible. You've heard and you've seen some of the things in terms of what's possible. And I want to encourage you to know that you're not alone. We journey together. There is no us and them. There's only us. And I'm so passionate about seeing you take your game to the next level. I appreciate you for sharing your heart. I appreciate you for sharing what you've been through, because you have touched people in ways that you'll never be able to know. You won't understand, because people are processing in this moment as we sit here. And we're blessed by you and blessed by that. And blessed the fact that you have survived to this day so you could share so openly, honestly, and authentically. So because we're all about doing that, we want to create opportunities for people to take your game. There are people in here who have stories to share. Who here has been inspired tonight? There are people in here with stories to share that will unlock things, that will release people. I'm talking about that will break generational curses and chains if you are willing to be open enough and vulnerable enough to share. So we want to invite that. We want to invite that and we want to celebrate you. What's up, fam? So I'm going to do a shameless plug. September 28th, we have an event that's called Next Level Canada. We're bringing in some of the top speakers on the planet. Dr. Eric Thomas, some of you may know E.T., the hip-hop preacher. He's going to be here in Toronto, right? We're bringing in Jeremy Anderson. We're bringing in C.J. We're bringing in Coach Crump. This is going to be a life-altering experience at the Carlu, September 28th, here in Toronto. My teammate is at the back. If, as you're exiting, you want to grab one of these, it's just a pamphlet that gives you some information. We've got anyone that's in this space in terms of the Speaker Slam family, you have an opportunity to get in on the early bird discounted pricing, right? And the reason for that is, but we just want you to win. We want you to know that you matter, know that your voice matters, and use it to make a difference. When I say one voice, I invite you with passion to say one team. One voice, one team. One voice. One team. That's how we get through it. That's how we navigate life. That's how we take our game to the next level. I'm blessed and honored to be in this space. I love y'all for showing up today. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you.